This episode is brought to you by Draggin Bags. We were just admiring the website, perusing around.
We really were.
I'm doing it right now. And I can't see below my waist, and that's a good thing because these things are fire. If you want to get your chub on, just head over with me to dragginbags.com because, good Lord, these designs are just popping off.
Who doesn't want to get a chub on with Dane?
Exactly. What sounds more fun than on a Wednesday morning
I haven't
commute?
seen all these new designs.
Dude, they are
the hunting season.
Fire. Yes, I am a huge fan of that colorway.
I love the Hypnos.
The Hypnos are dope. I love the Hazard placard. It's just different take.
I think my favorite. Okay, first of all, the power button ones. The color splash is sweet.
Yes,
but the white Power Dragon is just that white carpet just does something.
So if you want to just join us in admiration, head over to dragginbags.com and pick yourself up a set today because you won't be disappointed. Drop code BIGASP12 at checkout and you're going to save 12%. So just don't be stupid and enter the code and save money on some great bags over at dragginbags.com.
Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid.
Let's go.
Welcome to the Big Ass Cornhole Show with Sean and Dane, the host you know, talking cornhole life and random fun. Grab a beer, let's get it done. From tossing bags to let's wild ride, tune in and join the party, don't you hide. It's the Big Ass Cornhole podcast time with Sean and Dane. It's always prime.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Sean and Dane are with you as always. What's going on there, Vanilla Face?
Not too much, man. You slapped a vanilla face on me.
I did. Just try to catch you off guard a little bit.
You did.
Did it work?
You did.
All right, good. All right. So, as always, it just seems like right when I don't think that there's going to be stuff to talk about outside of like recapping the Open, stuff always sprinkles in, and it's just great. So we have a lot to get to. So before we get to anything else, Dane, you do a certain segment every single week. So let the folks know what we're sipping on tonight in our favorite segment called What You Drinking?
What you drinking?
And I know there's been a recurring theme, but we're drinking Miller Lite again just because it's the nectar of the gods and it's what was in my fridge. So I usually like to finish what's in my fridge before I move on to something else. So yeah, back to Miller Lights. And I did have a pumpkin earlier today, which was delightful. So anyway, yeah, just Miller Lite, nothing fancy. Just
it's always
Miller
good.
Lite and pumpkin. Can't go wrong.
Good. All right, so we have more audio gold planned for you all today. We're going to be recapping the Open number 2 in Iowa. There were some claims that there were some illegal bags being used, so we're going to touch on that. There was listener questions, and then we're going to be joined by Mr. Jeremy Schermerhorn, Mr. Joe Kniesteadt. Two of our favorite guys.
Hell yeah.
Two of our favorite guys.
I love it.
All right, but before we get into all that, we're going to let you know what's going on in our cornhole lives in our favorite segment called In and Around the Hole.
Are you too good for your home? Answer me!
Oh, man.
It's kind of weird not having a sponsor here
Sean,
after like 4 years.
You and I were having the exact same thought as that came through. And I was just
paused
like,
for a second. I'm like, am I supposed to say something right now?
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, no.
And I'm like,
All right.
we've been flawless.
I know.
This whole time. Like with
I
just
don't
the
know
one
why
sponsor, like Love You Draggin Bags.
Yeah. We love you.
Making our dreams come true. And Patreon members, like, thank you.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, it is, it's very funny.
It is.
Like,
it is weird. But I'm sure everyone at home's got to love it, right?
it's short and sweet, but
It's
here
short.
we are. Just, I mean, we're filling void time right now that would usually be a segment.
It's fine.
No more, Sean.
We had built up a few weeks of this, so it was fine. All right, so this weekend, it's ironic that we were talking about like our cornhole lives because like we actually got to play.
Dude, did we ever?
So it was our first regional that we've played together. I want to say since April of last year or April of this year.
Yeah, for sure.
Was it? I think it was even before that. Like, I think I think April was.
Yeah, it might have even been like.
I think it was one of the first regionals. I want to say like January or December last year.
Could have been.
Was the last regional that I went to.
Yeah.
So, but
together we
Correct.
did alternate a couple.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So we got to play. We played
did.
doubles. We went up on Saturday. It was open doubles.
Mm-hmm.
So I had no expectations. Like, I have not been throwing that much recently. Between trying to grow the podcast and other avenues, trying to get more content out, there's just not as much time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The kids are getting more active. When we were doing more bag reviews, every Wednesday I'd always make a point to throw. So like, I felt like it was there, but I don't know. I felt like I hit this plateau where it wasn't fun anymore, just throwing by myself and like practicing and then never getting to actually go and get it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I was.
I will say,
I get it.
I will say I had no expectations going in this weekend. My goal is always the same. I would like to play more than 2 games.
Yeah.
Just because I don't get to play that much. So
Well,
if
we knew
if
that
we
it was
win
going to
one,
be quick.
yeah, if we win one, great. We go into the open doubles. You never know who you're going to get. And so our first match,
Yeah.
we decide we get paired up against Cito Soto and Kniesteadt.
Yes. I don't know. I can't remember his last name, but you know, our sponsored player, Candace, her father,
Yes,
was there playing with Cito.
I had never met before. Very good.
But we know Candace was good. So, but luckily we didn't know who he was.
Yes.
To start the match.
Yeah, so match one, very typical for us. We started off pretty slow. We dug ourselves in a huge hole. I think the score at one point was 19-3.
Yes. It
And
was
then
not looking good.
Dane scored a 9 spot. I scored a 5 spot. And then you scored a 7 spot. And just like that, we win.
Wham bam. Thank you,
In
ma'am.
3 rounds. Like,
Yeah.
and we recorded all the matches and we were mic'd up. So I was going back, editing some of the video, just kind of watching it again. And we didn't even play that bad. Like, if you look at the stats, like, we both threw above a 9 that match.
Yeah.
Like, we played well. They were just getting hot early on. And, you know, we were giving up a lot of 2 points and just kind of get nickel and dime all the way up. And then, we
started
just caught
off
fire.
with several 8s.
We finally took advantage of the 2 bad rounds Cito had and the 1 bad round of Kniesteadt.
Yeah. And that was luckily our time to shine, brother.
We do have a knack for coming back from being down big.
Dude, isn't it weird?
It's kind of, I think most of our wins are probably like that.
It's almost like both of us have that innate, like, if there's chum in the water and our backs are against the wall, like, we just don't miss.
Yeah.
Like, that's when we just lock in and hit
Yeah.
the shots. Like, I mean, I don't mean to toot my own horn, but in that game, I had to keyhole an airmail to keep us alive, to only give up 2 points, like the round before my 9-pointer. So just locked in. I'm like, I can't end it.
No,
Like, that's all I was thinking. I'm
know.
like, I finally, like,
Because I figured if you missed, it's just going to
Yeah.
put them at 20.
and really that's all it took for me. Like, once I hit that airmail, it was just good night. And I felt like I was throwing great the rest of the day.
Yeah, no, I mean, you threw really well. I mean, you threw, I think, at least one game over 10-4. So
Which,
our
that's
next,
a first for me.
Our next match, I don't know what happened because I finished that game feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
The next match, I lost it completely. Like, I completely take that L on my, like, it did not last very long. I think it lasted like 8 rounds. I just lost it.
You got one
Looking
put
back,
on you.
though, I still threw above an 8.
Yeah, but he was just putting it on.
He threw
you,
it
like
11.
I said.
I mean, like,
he
I
was
just couldn't do anything.
didn't miss. It was hitting every little shot, and like
I tried getting too cute, and then the next match we have in the losers bracket, right? So we move over.
Yeah.
Game 3. I'm happy that we're at least playing 3 games, and over comes walking Eli Stevens, former pro, and Steven Fouts, who is probably one of the better non-pro players in our area. We
sure.
know them both very well. We've been playing with Eli for 6+ years. Fouts is somebody that recently I've played a whole bunch. Every regional I ever go to, I play him.
Yeah,
one of the nicest dudes ever.
For sure. I love Steve.
If you were
and Eli,
if you were putting betting lines on that match, we would have been a heavy underdog. We'll just put it that way.
I can count on my hand how many times I have beat Eli Stevens
that's what I'm
in doubles
saying.
or
I
singles.
don't think I've ever beaten Eli
He
before.
usually has my number. I think I've only ever beaten him like one other time. So like,
and you picked a good game to throw a 10-4.
yeah, I was definitely on one that game.
That was by far both of our best games. I think you were at a 10-4. I think I was at like a 9-7 or something like that. But that was the game that I finally felt like, oh, this is how I like to play. Like, my first bag was always somewhere in front of the hole.
Yeah.
Just almost like half in or just on it. And I just wanted to make Steve go through my bag every time. So I was just trying to get muscle memory down. If it goes in, okay, fine. But I would like to leave something parked in front of the hole because he is a slick side down ex-bowler. He's going to kill you at 12s if you let him. So I just knew I had to get something in his way, and it flustered him enough that I was able to kind of pick him apart because Eli threw well against you.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I barely scored in that game.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
think I only scored 1 point. I think he was a 10-3 on me.
And
Like,
I'm very
it was-
much if I throw that first bag block and he kicks off because he kept trying to go through it, would push mine in, kick off to the right. I feed off of that shit.
Yeah.
And then I would love to know how many 4-baggers I throw personally after I see a miss.
Oh yeah. I mean, you just lock in, and
I don't
like,
do
you're
a whole
just
lot
like-
of. There's not a whole lot of like double 4-baggers for
Yeah.
me. I mean, like I don't know what it is, but it's like the chum in the water thing. If I see somebody miss, I'm like, okay, I'm really gonna lock in now.
Well, I gotta be honest though. Even when you missed a block against Steve,
yeah,
it was just like it was one of those matches where it was something for him to look at.
yeah.
And he hit it every single time. Like
Yeah.
your block, he would just plow into it every single time. And I'm like, yeah, we're good here. Like, you threw great that match. I just held up my end, really, is all I had to do because Eli was throwing really well too. So,
And then the next match, who did we play the next one?
now the next one was Bill Sobleski
That's right.
and Matt Logan.
Yeah, and we'll just say Bill was not having his best game, and I had
He
my
was
best game of the day.
Yeah. And honestly, very much the same though.
Yeah.
I just kind of held it down against Matt. He was throwing pretty well. I was throwing pretty well. So like there's nothing really to write home about it.
Yeah, and then and then we had to face the same team that had already put us in the losers bracket.
So I
again.
will say we lost to the one team that had a current pro on it.
Who's the pro on that team?
Mike.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mike is a pro. Yeah. I forgot.
So like, yeah. So like, and honestly, looking back at the numbers, like I had his number game too.
I know you did. That's why I was pissed that I wasn't throwing a little bit better.
Yeah.
I didn't throw terrible, but again, I was giving up 1 or 2 points. It seemed like every round.
I had that one round that I dropped I think it was a 7 spot.
Yeah, I
on
know.
him, and he was like, "Oh shit!"
Well,
like, yeah,
Again, we were down big. You put up a 7 spot, and I'm thinking, all right. And I think that
Yeah.
was the one round I actually scored on the guy. I'm thinking we're gonna come back and win this.
yeah. Then I think I actually ended it.
Yeah.
Was it? Yeah, I think it was on me. But like, it was just one of those that I felt like I actually could have beaten a lefty finally.
No, I thought we honestly like for guys that like rarely play compared to what most of these guys do. I mean, most of those guys are playing at least 3 nights a week.
Yeah,
For me not to have touched a bag really in like 3 months,
same here, man.
I mean, I couldn't have been more happy with how I played. I threw airmails well. I was blocking if I needed to.
I mean, I had that one random league night.
I
in
also
there.
went in. I don't know if you noticed it all, but I basically told myself, "You're not going to throw a cut shot today.
Yeah.
Just throw the bag."
You threw
fucking
one and
straight."
actually almost hit the wheel. It
I
was
know.
real
I know.
close.
I know.
And I was like, ooh, he's feeling it.
I was. I only threw one.
When you throw that one straight, that's when I know you're feeling it. But
Yeah.
like, it can also turn real quick on
Correct.
you.
I just tend to leave the bag right.
Yeah.
Every single time, but yeah, it was good. It was fun to play. It was fun to get competitive again. But it's also crazy weird being mic'd up the whole time. And Candace's dad came up to us after the fact, and he walks up and he's like, "Hey, just want to say, really enjoyed playing against you." He's like, "I got to ask you something." He's like, "How do you do it? Like, how do you commentate and talk out loud when you play?" I'm like, "Well, I don't normally do that. I just know the microphone's on. So what I would normally internalize, I just said out loud today."
Which is so
It's
weird
so
to me.
wild to the
So
guys.
you've listened to the videos.
Yes.
How different is our commentary?
Oh, it's very different.
Right?
Yeah.
Like I knew it because you were talking like you're going through your process, and I'm over there just like, yeah, like yesterday
Yeah.
we were just
Correct.
like,
Yeah. It's definitely way more talking when like we did a pretty decent job. Like I try not to talk when I was throwing, just like we weren't talking over it and
Yeah.
stuff. But every once in a while you can hear me say like, like just you're a fucking piece of shit. Like just why do you suck so bad? But yeah, it was good. I think so those will be coming up on YouTube. I'm going to be working on putting those all together. I'm going to put out all 5 matches. So there's 3 really good ones and 2 not so good ones.
yeah, but hey, lost to the same people. So
Yeah, it was
next
fun.
time we
Again,
go
like-
out, those are the ones.
Yep.
So we're going after.
So this weekend, part of the reason I was able to get out easily is because my wife was in California. So wife went to California Thursday. She didn't get back till Monday. So I was full dad duty. Was able to get out Saturday morning, go to the regional, and then I had to leave the regional because my daughter was invited to a birthday party.
Yes.
So 2 weeks ago, I took my daughter to a fall festival. She runs into a girl from her school. They're off playing the whole time. You know how little kids are. They become best friends in like 5 minutes. So the mom comes up to me randomly, who I've never met, and she's like, "Hey, we want to invite Nora to Emma's birthday party in 2 weeks." I'm like, "Okay." And she's like, we're having a very small party. She's only inviting 2 friends. She wants Nora to be one of them. I'm like, "Okay, where's that?" She's like, "I'll text you the details." So she's texting me the details, and it's at like one of those children's play places, like at the mall.
Yeah.
That's fine. Whatever. We'll go there. She's like, "We're going to do that from 4 to 6. And then we're going to go back to our house for like food and like cake and all that stuff." So in my head, automatically, I'm thinking, what?
Dun, dun, dun.
Wait, what do you mean? What do you mean? Like I have to spend 2 hours with you guys? Because this is not like a place that you'd like just drop off the kids.
Yeah.
Like you have to like stay
You have
there.
to sit around
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
And so we play. It's 6 o'clock. So I'm like starting to like get Nora wrapped up, like trying to drop a hint to them. Like, let's get I want to like, let's wrap this up kind of thing. We get to their house, 6:30. Dad walks in the door, walks up by. He's like, "Yeah, pizza should be here around like 7:15. I'm like, "What the? Are you fucking kidding me?" Mind you, I have a 4-year-old who's about to lose his fucking mind because he hasn't eaten in like 5 minutes. So yeah, that was fun. So finally the food gets there and I'm dragging my kids out. I'm texting you because you're supposed to come over to watch the Guardians game.
Yeah.
Guardians game started at 8:08. I'm still there, 8:08, starting to fume. I'm like, "All right, kids are done eating. We need to go. Thank you so much. It's been great, but I've spent 4 hours with you guys. Like, I'm good."
Yeah.
So we're about to, and she's like, "Oh no, we just need to do the cake real fast, sing happy birthday." I'm like, "Of course we do. Why,
Yeah, fuck me, right?
wouldn't we need to sing happy birthday after 4 hours together? Right. You know what I mean? Like, that's fine. Like I already bought your kid. And I had to pay for my own kid at her birthday party, who I bought a present for. I had to pay for her to go into that play place. Are you fucking kidding me? So I had to pay to spend 4 hours of my Saturday with these people.
And miss Guardians action.
Like, oh my dude. I should be like, there should be a little space for me for like sainthood or something for putting up with that stuff and just being a good sport. But like, I just could not, I can't urge you enough. If you're planning a kid's birthday party, if it's not 2 hours, if it's longer than 2 hours, nobody wants to be there. All right. If you want to have family and stuff stick around, that's fine. But if you're bringing any outside guests, we don't want to be there more than 2 hours. I don't even want to be there for an hour, but I'm doing it for your kid. So do me a solid and don't keep me held hostage for 4.5 hours on a Saturday, a prime time. At least make it at 1 or something so I can still. You have it from 4 to fucking 8:30. Are you kidding me right now? Anyways, that was fun. So that was my weekend.
Yeah. So
fun.
while you were doing that,
Yeah.
After the regional, it was a beautiful day. So boy went golfing. Bless my wife for allowing me to go.
Yeah.
And put on a show, man. I felt really good. It
What'd
was,
you shoot?
I shot 2 over on 9,
Okay.
but it was 1 double bogey, and I parred every other hole. Like,
You said you played with Randall.
yeah.
Okay.
Former ACL pro,
Yep. Randall
Arcangelini Jr.
Arcangelini Jr.
Um,
Find that card.
yeah,
Get
he
it signed.
works with me, so we golf from time to time, and yeah, I definitely put one out there. It was just one of those days where the only reason I shot 2 over was my left foot slipped out from underneath me on a drive, and I duck hooked it, and we couldn't find it.
Okay.
So besides that, rather than dropping, I was so confident in my driver that I went and teed back up
Okay. Yeah.
and shot the double bogey.
Okay.
But lost 2 shots. It would have been regular par if I got it.
Fair enough.
That's how my whole day was. But it was, I hit every green in regulation besides 1, and just one of those that I left long ass putts the whole day, and
Yeah.
I couldn't sink one, but they were close. So like, it was just tap-ins for par. Pretty much every hole. It was like the easiest round of 9 I've ever had in my life.
It's nice when you have like a stress-free round.
Yeah. I mean, it really was like I was in fairways all day and just had a real nice round.
Well, I've gotten to the point now where, again, like my goal is just, I don't want to do worse than a bogey. So if bogey's fine for me,
yeah.
par's great. You know what I mean? Like, so like that's the way I've just been approaching it. And I figure if I get 4 or 5 pars per 9,
There
that's
you go.
pretty much where I'm at. You know what I mean? Like that's pretty much my handicap
Yeah.
right now.
And
So.
I will say I only used my new driver. I did not touch the old one.
Okay.
So
you're just finally
I
getting
told
used to it?
myself like I'm just going to learn it. Yeah, honestly, like it's all about just slowing up my tempo a little bit. It's a little bit heavier.
Okay,
So like
yeah.
I just needed to slow down my backswing and then just explode more, and it's working out great.
Honestly,
So,
that's why I've always struggled with like heavier clubs.
yeah.
Like I probably have in my bag, or probably like the lightest clubs.
Yeah.
They've got to be some of them. I mean, especially my driver. I've never felt a driver that's
I find
as
myself
light.
more conscious of how far I'm bringing it back.
No, I get that for sure.
When I'm doing it slower. So like I'm actually like hitting the ball a little bit further,
Yeah.
just like taking the smoother swing. And,
I just have a hard time. I just tend to not get my hands through.
yeah.
So if it's too heavy, like I just,
Yeah. And now like I say smooth swing for me.
Yeah,
Like
correct.
anyone else's swing is probably way smoother than how I swing on
Yeah.
a golf club, but like it works. So
Yeah.
just take
well,
it
you
as
do a
it
good job
comes.
swinging on plane. Yeah,
I
I mean,
do,
like you
yeah.
have a very good plane that you swing. Like it doesn't look like necessarily orthodox, but if you broke down like the mechanics of everything, like it's not going to look perfect just because the range of motion's not there. But plane is
I know
there.
I'm fat, Sean.
No,
All
no, I'm
right?
not saying
I know
that.
I'm fat.
You have shoulder issues. That's what I'm saying. That's more what it
And
is.
a little
like the
arm.
external rotate. Yeah.
And honestly, like I've learned that's why I pull the shit out of the ball all the time.
Oh, it makes sense.
Because I got to keep my plane in like even.
And it still baffles me.
narrower.
So you don't use the interlocking grip, right?
No, I don't.
That is so crazy to me, man.
And anything
that
there's
you can
like
hit it
a-
accurately
there's
like that.
There's like a centimeter like apart from my hands too. They're not even touching.
That's so crazy.
But dude, I think it's because of my little arm.
No, it makes
I think
sense.
that's how
No,
I
get
had
it.
to like teach
I
myself
wish,
to give
honestly,
myself that
you
little
know, I have to
extra.
tape my fingers.
Oh, I
right?
know,
And I
dude.
know Dane and my
Dude,
dad
it's
love
hilarious.
making fun of me every single time we
Baby
golf.
soft hands over here. He's like, dude, I have to moisturize for work. Okay.
I don't have to moisturize. It's like it just happens
do
when you're
it,
working with stuff.
okay?
So, anyways, I would love to do it because then I don't think my hands would get as torn up.
Yeah. But I mean, you just put it in that paraffin wax on its own, or don't lie, you know you do that.
I don't even have paraffin wax anymore.
Anymore. Yeah. All right.
Okay,
So they're
so
toughening it up a little bit.
yeah.
And then I guess we can get into Cleveland sports sucking now.
Oh,
Is
Jesus,
that,
man.
can we just get, actually, I'm going to grab a beer.
yeah, it was not a great Cleveland sports weekend. Obviously, the Guardians, they put up a battle. I mean, if we want to call it that.
Fuck the Yankees.
Yeah, listen, still finishing top 4 teams in the MLB with having the payroll that we have. You got to tip the cap to the, front office. You know what I mean? Like it's,
Yeah, Sean, I guess you do. Okay.
but what it came down to is, I mean, really for the Guardians, the Yankees big players performed. Ours didn't. You know what I mean? Like, so it is what it is, but it was a fun series.
one J-Ram piece of magic away from
I probably won't watch a minute of the World Series because I don't give a shit about either one of those teams.
Yeah, can we talk about that for a second? What a horrific duo in the World Series. Like two of the teams that I despise the most. It is.
I'll be interested. I think it's going to do well in the ratings.
Of course it will.
Yeah.
Because there's so many honks out there that are just like, I'm a Yankee fan.
Yeah.
They're like, what is your affiliation with New York?
Yeah.
I visited there once.
Yeah.
I saw a game at the
Or
stadium.
they've been my favorite team since I've been 3. Like, okay,
Yeah.
and now you're 35.
Because
so it's
they're
time to
really
grow
good.
up.
You just
Yeah.
keep following them. Like,
Yeah, correct.
Where's
It
the
was
loyalty?
easy. It was
All
easy.
right? Yeah. So where's the loyalty, people? Come on. I hate all those
You need to
fans.
bleed with them.
Yeah.
Speaking of bleeding, Browns suck still.
And
Deshaun Watson's probably might be done. Who knows?
it could be his career. Who knows? I mean, that's
Achilles is no joke.
I mean, we
back
just saw
from.
Aaron Rodgers come back from it, though.
Yeah, man, but like he's not as mobile. You know what I mean? Like it's really hard. Like quarterback, you might be able to get away with it. But he's not going to
He's
be
going to become a pocket passer.
correct. He can't run.
But I mean, you can't stand in the pocket for 7 seconds. And
He
not
can't.
Get
He's not.
sacked, so.
To me, he hasn't shown that he can process a defense in time. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I'm interested in seeing how Jameson Winston does, but like ultimately, doesn't matter. I think it was a feel good story that Chubb was back in the game, but sweet, we're just gonna waste the rest of his career. You know what I mean? Because now it's all about.
They're just.
We're basically gonna
fire
tank.
sale.
Yeah,
Like,
we're gonna tank until 2029. Like they just announced they're gonna build the new stadium that'll be ready in 2029. It's gonna be 10 minutes from our house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're basically gonna build up for that to be the big thing. I mean, they're projecting the Browns to have the number 1 overall pick this year.
Which, yeah, why wouldn't you?
Which quarterback's career do we want to ruin next?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like
Just
Jesus,
bring in the
Christ.
next one. We'll mow them down real quick. We'll put them in too early and
So
just,
crazy.
Yeah, feed them to the wolves, and that's it. Yeah, I don't know. It's
Yeah, fuck the Steelers.
I will say,
fuck the Yankees.
I am gonna
and, yeah.
I'm gonna double down on like fuck the fans that booed at the stadium too when Deshaun
Yeah,
went down.
it's-
Like that's just ill taste.
Okay,
Like, don't
so-
do that kind of shit. Like believe me, we can all have like a little internal happiness for our team that like, yes, maybe things can get better by chance with this guy not being there, but the way it happened that way, it's never wish that
Okay,
on anyone.
So I do agree. I would never boo for that. Here's my response to like what Jameis Winston came out like right and said like was very heartfelt, sticking up for Deshaun. I would say that the booing was not just directed at Deshaun Watson, right? I think the booing was a culmination of you were supposed to be our franchise savior. So I think the booing was at him, yes, because he was down, but I think it was also like just the booing the franchise, man. Like
like just another thing gone wrong.
Correct.
Like,
it's just frustration of we were supposed to be good this year and we're 1-6. Like, the season's over. We're tanking. Everyone knows it. You traded our number one receiver. Like it's all that's what the booing's for. And if I have another athlete stand up and be like, you guys are being shut the fuck up. Like, what are you have no idea. Like what people have spent their hard-earned money watching this shit organization for 40 fucking years. And you're going to come out and be like, don't boo because he was hurt. Shut up. Like, I hope you're a good quarterback for us and everything. But for that, shut up. You have no idea. You've been here for like 6 months. You have no idea. People spend a lot of money and time to watch this garbage fucking franchise.
Yeah. I mean, Myles
that's
Garrett
what the booing's from.
said the same thing. Like he came out with like,
shut up.
Like,
go write a poem about it that you're
Exactly.
frustrated
It's
or something. And how about you sack the quarterback, you piece of shit?
Go play every third down and
that.
call yourself like a great defensive player. It just baffles me. Like,
So anyways, I agree. I'm not booing for that somebody got hurt, right? First of all, why that wouldn't be an appropriate response anyways. You'd be cheering, right? Because he got hurt.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. But
no one was celebrating that he got hurt.
I think it was more just, I mean, they might have been cheering when he got hurt too.
At this point, it didn't matter. We're 1-6. Just might as well let him finish it out. Take a few more hits.
Boo and cheer all you want, and just fuck it. Organization's up in flames already. God damn it!
All right, so enough with our stuff and our drama and all that stuff. So let's move over to some of the cornhole stuff. So Open 2 was this weekend in Iowa. We're gonna get into attendance stuff in a little bit, but it looked like it was pretty lightly attended. I heard it was less than 200 teams. I don't know what that was for. I don't know if it's just location wise. I have a hard time believing that just because I believe the one in Iowa did really well last year when it was there.
Yeah, but I mean, again, I think a lot of it is like people's vacation time and stuff. Like
the beginning of it's the end.
You gotta let people recoup, and like there were a lot of like
I'll be interested. Yeah, what's that one
stuff like
in Iowa last year? Was it the same time of year as this year?
I'm not sure.
What I mean? Like I can't remember,
but it was just I don't know, and like cornhole's just what cornhole is right now. Like,
do you think it's down?
Yeah, I mean, I think
we saw it this weekend at our regional.
But again, it's not down; it's spreading.
Mm-hmm.
So I think a lot of people like they are content with just the Saturday blind draw that are now at their local bars and stuff.
I think the overall game is growing because I think you wouldn't still see bad companies popping up.
Yeah, exactly.
Unless sales were being made. So people are still buying stuff. I think that the rush of the high level competitive stuff just isn't what's super popular anymore.
People are tired of going out to these things and getting absolutely waxed and being like, oh, I'm not that good, but back home I can keep winning, so I'll just do that.
Yeah.
It's more fun to just crush, $3 beers in my local bar than it is paying like $10.50.
I mean, I think the Cleveland Regional is a perfect example of everything's just spread out. Yeah. You had the Open in Iowa at the same time. You had obviously the regional, and then there was a fundraiser costume party thing that 60 people were at, like 10 miles away from where the regional was. That takes away 60 people from the regional. Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, there are just more opportunities to play now. When we first started, if you weren't in the league or going to the regional, you just weren't probably playing.
Yeah.
Now we can go 5 nights a week to a different bar around here and find a blind draw.
For sure.
So I think that's why the numbers like, oh, I already went out Wednesday this week. I don't need to go to the regional.
Yeah, exactly. The numbers aren't down. It's just spread out. And people are getting their jollies in different ways now. Like it's
like so Scornhole would actually be a really good metric to use.
Yeah. Like how many games are you
correct? Are the games per day on Scornhole? I'd be interested. So Ben, if you do listen to this, I'd be interested to know like Scornhole games per day. Are we still seeing growth? Are we seeing like a plateau? Is it down from what it normally is? I'd be interested.
That's a great metric to throw out there.
If Ben happens to hear this, we would love that, but we'll see. All right. So singles this weekend was again, it was still a very stacked field.
It was
still
there was still
very
a
stacked field
there.
So bracket winners in singles, elite and pro division was Ryan Trader, Noah Almanza, Mason Trader, and Sammy Soto. Ryan Trader takes it down. So I think right there and then that that nullifies any argument that we were worried about early in the season about like he can't step over anymore.
Yeah, he's
matter.
just fine. He's really good.
He's still steps.
Yep.
But looks just fine.
Moved it back a couple feet and threw it harder.
I did find it interesting. I don't know why, and I'm not trying to start anything. I just thought it was interesting. Trader was not throwing all cornhole bags in singles. He was actually throwing BG. And I don't know if maybe like his bags weren't broken in yet. But
Possibly.
you're going to hear that he did pretty well in doubles the day before, and he was throwing all cornhole.
Yeah.
But he was throwing BG Wizards or Wizard Owls. I couldn't really tell which one they were in singles. So I was kind of surprised by that a little bit.
Maybe he's allowed to throw whatever he wants in singles.
Maybe. I mean, it very well could be. At first I was thinking, okay, maybe they're because his brother is sponsored by BG.
Yeah.
So I was thinking, oh, maybe they're his brother's bags. His brother's bags are just more broken in than what he has right now, just like how they played.
Yeah.
So, but I thought it was interesting. But Trader beats Noah Almanza in the finals.
Nice to see Noah there, though.
Yeah. Mason Trader, man. Like every time I see this kid, just getting better.
Yes, he is.
And him and Cash Chamness are going to be issues in doubles all year. You know what I mean? At these open events, they've done very, very well.
Do you think it's like scary to face a team that young?
Oh, absolutely. It's
pro?
intimidating. Yeah, no one wants to lose to that.
Exactly.
The best picture I saw all weekend was Fisher Hamilton standing next to Cash Chamness.
Yeah,
like that was great.
Giant.
Yeah.
David.
But it showed how cool this game is, that you can have somebody huge and athletic, a gentle giant, or you can have an 8-year-old.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and they're both equals. You know what I mean? Like, it's kind of crazy to think about.
The only sport.
Sammy Soto, it's nice to see him getting back into it. How about Justin Burton Jr.?
Yep.
Getting hot at the right time, perhaps.
Starting to feel it again.
Game's
Once again, I like
looking
it.
a little sharper. You know what I mean? Played a good match against Sammy Soto. Soto just edged him out, but you know, both of those guys, we know how good they're going to be. They're going to be in the conversation all the time.
Times. I'm pretty sure they're probably 50-50 lifetime against each other.
Yep. So along with Justin Burton Jr., other second place in the bracket was Jeff Reynolds. How about that? Gavin Cano and Owen Crick. Owen Crick played really well. He took down some big names, lost a close match to Ryan Trader, was super impressed by him. Gavin Cano, we know what it is. I mean, again, it's just, he's always going to be in the mix.
Know what it is?
You know what it is? Jeff
Got to do what it
Reynolds,
is.
though.
You know, dude, Jeff he also won seniors too.
Oh, doesn't surprise me.
So yeah, put together a weekend and maybe he's just feeling it.
Third in the bracket, some more name power. All right, we've mentioned, I think it was last week or the week before. Levi Haddock, get familiar with the name. Kid's really, really good.
Real good.
Logan Chamberlain, another Texas dude. David Morse.
Love to see it.
Taking from what he did last year, moving on to this year, you know, making some noise early in the season. And then Ethan Walker.
Yeah.
Again, just one of those guys that we fully expect to be. I expect to see Ethan Walker firmly establish himself as a top 10 player this year.
Yeah, he's kind of
Every
becoming
year,
that steady Eddie now, where
he's
he's
been
consistently doing well.
I think this is the year that I expect him to kind of really put himself on the map here. Other notable names I like to see.
I want to throw out.
Go ahead.
Fourth in the bracket.
Yep.
For Caleb Batson.
Yep. KB, that's what I was going to
starting to throw a little bit better this season. I love to see that. So
for sure.
I'm excited, especially if he turns it on. People forget the season he had just 2 years ago.
Yep.
It was so good.
Yep. Other fourth in the bracket, Zachary Engelkin. Again, he's kind of like a sneaky good player in opens. Like he's always just like kind of hovering around.
He's
like in the
won
mix.
an open, hasn't
he? Yeah, I think. I think so. Actually,
I think he did win one.
Maybe like a month or two before we interviewed him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Really big into like organ donation and stuff like that. So make sure you follow his page. He's a good dude. Tyler Stratton. We interviewed him a few weeks ago, having a very solid showing. And then who was the other guy that I'm missing? Oh, we already mentioned them all. All right. So
there we go.
Scroll down just a little bit for me.
We'll scroll down.
All right. So in doubles, bracket winners, you had Jason Rubin and Ryan Trader, and you had Isidro Herrera and Jalen Jones.
How about Isidro throwing it back to like 2020?
Yeah, I mean, I watched a bunch of the doubles. I went back and watched a lot of it. Isidro is just like so just blah, but he just makes it work. I mean, his airmail just looks so effortless.
Dude, it's
and
so
it
drippy,
hits so clean.
Yeah.
Every time. Like it doesn't even touch the hole, just knifes right through, sliding behind the boards. I mean, it's just so perfect. Jones is one of those players that it's got to be frustrating because he shows flashes where you're like, oh shit, this kid's really good.
He's got all the shots
and then
at times.
The next round he like falls apart.
Yeah.
Like just it was a back and forth.
But I will say I'm happy that he made it because this was in his backyard. I mean, he's an Iowa guy.
Correct.
So like awesome for him. Like
Hell yeah.
showed up in his hometown and almost took it down. Like kudos.
I mean, Ruben and Trader just doing what Ruben and Trader do. Or what Ruben does. I mean, he came back from a huge deficit,
Yeah,
pulled off and win. Jay Ruben just picking up right where he left off.
Is anyone surprised by it?
I mean, not really.
I'm not.
Not
like,
with his game style.
Exactly.
Not
He's
after
just,
I could go out and throw a 9. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
anyone can do it.
Yeah, correct.
Anyone can play.
Second in the bracket, we had Fisher Hamilton and Landon Crabtree. And then also second in the bracket was Cody Henderson and Ethan Walker.
They win the award for most entertaining matches.
Yeah, I mean, Cody Henderson, thank you so
Yes.
much. Like, just the antics are great. And so let's talk about Cody for a second. We're going to get to him. Actually, we'll wait. Save it.
We'll wait.
I have a dramatic conversation to have about him later. Third in the bracket, Mason Trader and Cash Chamness, and Justin Burton Jr. and Logan Chamberlain. So again, you put Mason and Cash in that conversation with all these other teams. I mean, that's
impressive.
pretty solid.
Yeah.
I mean, other teams that are around the area. You had David Brown and Donald Cup. I've said before, David Brown is really freaking good. So again, is another name to kind of keep in the back of your head, kind of follow along the season. You had the Ryan train, Ryan Smith and Ryan Wiedenfeld. Jeff Reynolds, Lucas Householder took 5th in their bracket. Cameron Belvin and Noah Almanza. They're an interesting team.
They are.
They're pairing up this year. I think they're going to be sneaky good.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, and again, this is not taking a shot at anyone, but if like Roybal and Ramirez can do like as well as they did last year.
yeah, this team has potential to be just as good.
Yeah.
If not better.
Because Roybal and Ramirez, it was like the first time like a female partnered up with a male.
And finished
Besides like what Cheyenne has done in the past. And it's like been like a realistic like threat.
yeah. Because I mean, like, I honestly thought Emfer and Cassidy were going to be like that. It just didn't quite pan out that way. But I'm very interested in that team.
Other just notable teams, Austin Waskow and Quinn Reeves. I think they're a team to kind of watch for. 7th in the bracket. I'm a little disappointing in these two teams. Sammy Soto, Gavin Cano, Eddie G, and Dylan Turpin. Again, they're traveling a little bit, but I fully expect those two teams to both compete to be like top 10, if not top, especially Sammy Soto, Gavin Cano they're just so talented. They go on a run at a national. They could win, multiple this year.
For sure. Yeah.
So,
no, I agree.
Want to scroll down? So, okay. So some of the drama that happened this weekend, and I want to be very clear that Tony Forbes is a really good kid, like super down to earth. Like he's always been super respectful. He ends up winning junior singles. He wins over Cannon Hatcher, another one of our favorite dudes.
Hell yeah.
So super talented. All right. So before we get into the drama, so you had Tony Forbes beat Cannon Hatcher. 3rd place was Jaden Ellis. 4th place was Sammy Soto. And 5th place was Ryan Trader. So that's a pretty good group. All right. Pretty good company.
Disgusting. Yeah.
Apparently, after Tony Forbes won junior singles, his bags were tested. And his bags did not pass inspection. They were found that they were too thin. All right. Or basically they were just like too broken in, too floppy. They didn't pass inspection. So the rules do state, so I'm going to pull this up real quick. If a player finishes a tournament and has earned prize money for his or her performance, the director reserves the right to inspect all bags used by that player throughout the tournament. 1. If any bag used by that player are inspected and found not to meet the criteria above, the player will forfeit all of his or her prize money for that tournament. The tournament director reserves the right to conduct random bag inspections of any player's bag at any time, or non-random inspections if a director suspects that a player is using a bag that is not compliant within the current bag policy. Upon random bag testing, if a bag or set of bags is found not to meet the bag policy criteria, that player is no longer allowed to use those bags for the remainder of the tournament, and the director reserves the right to forfeit any prize money potentially earned by that player in that tournament. So that is in the rule book. It should be stated that like it is allowed, like they are allowed, and apparently it happened at the first Open because Kingsbury chimed in and he's like, oh yeah, my bags were tested after we won at Open 1 too. So the winners are getting tested. This is the first time we heard that it didn't pass. This was not done intentionally. And I cannot stress that enough.
Just a case
to people.
Of bags were apparently too broken in.
I made a post saying that like, the rumor is that bags failed inspection, that, winning and winnings are going to be forfeited. Right. So I kept it up for a while. I ended up taking it down because like some of the personal attacks were like, they were like getting way too personal, man.
Yeah.
Like accusing people of cheating. Like no one was trying to cheat. And like,
This was not Deflategate.
Yeah,
This was just
I
like
mean-
somebody used bags for a little bit too long, and they passed size, they passed weight. It was the thickness because it just wore away too much.
we
Like,
talk about this a little bit with Jeremy and Joe
Yeah.
in their interview, and we asked their opinions, and their big question was like, why don't we just inspect all the bags before the tournament starts? I would say that you guys already are complaining that the start times are too early.
Yeah.
Can you imagine what time you'd have to get there in order to
gotta
get
be
it all
there at
done
8
and I still
a.m.?
give you guys time to warm up? You know what I mean? Like it'd be really hard. You could, if you are concerned that your bags might not pass, you can always probably go request that they get tested before you play,
Very
so that
true.
you know.
But then is every pro going to be like, well, I'm gonna go get these tested?
Here's my biggest argument against the whole bag testing thing is if with this stamp policy, if the ACL is putting a stamp on that bag and they're saying, hey, if you buy this bag, it's up to our standards, you're good to go. Why is it then illegal after, like, as long as it meets specs when you first buy it, shouldn't it be okay then?
I would think so.
As long as you're not doctoring it up with any foreign material, stuff like that. If it's just going through its natural life, isn't that kind of what makes bags unique and why people like going after certain brands more than others?
Yeah, I mean, does
You put a stamp on it. You were saying that this is good.
does the
and now
stamp
all of a
have
sudden-
to change like the longevity on it then?
I don't know. That's what I'm saying. Like somebody like me, I can buy a new set of bags and they'll definitely be good for 2 years. Like, don't
Yeah.
worry about that. But somebody that's throwing 4 or 5 nights a week all the time and they have their babies and they're throwing that same set of bags. But yeah, I mean, all set of bags eventually are probably going to get overly stretched and too floppy and too thin.
For sure.
Most people don't like their bags like that. So they want something newer and they retire that set and go to something new. But some guys want something super floppy, drippy, however you want to call it. You know what I mean?
It's the people with pretty throws.
Some
That's
of
who
them.
want 'em.
But I don't know. That's the part I struggle with. Like, why do bag testing if you're putting your stamp on the bag and you're saying that, hey, when this was bought, it was tested, like, you know, we're good and you don't have to worry about it anymore. Like, we're
Yeah.
putting our stamp of approval on this thing. As long as you're not putting some foreign material on it to change how the bag works.
I mean, I think there needs to be bag testing, but I agree with you that like you have to trust the stamp, but I think it should also be like requested.
Okay, so like the bag challenge again, like DK
Yes.
Harbaugh situation kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like he's not pulling an old Mark Richards. You know what I mean? Like trying to use, I was just kidding. But I mean, it is like, it's one of those situations. And my other question is, so in the rules, it states that if this happens, you still get to keep the win
Yeah.
on your record. Like, so that open win,
Sweet.
you're good. So you chalk that up, but you would forfeit the money. So my question is, what happens to the money then? Like, does it just go to the ACL? Like, is that money then like trickled down through the places and divvied up? Like, I just, apparently the ACLs reached out to us. They have said basically that they're going to be coming out with a public statement addressing all this stuff, making
Yeah.
it very clear before the next Open what the policies are. I think this is one of those things that maybe should have been highlighted before the season started to avoid something like this, but thank you for the content.
100%.
So I'm interested to see what changes might have occurred, because as long as I could see it, is that the first time, like, you still get the win, but you're forfeiting the money up. And then I don't know if that's where it's to the director's discretion. So like if the directors are like, you're going to still keep the money, but you can't use these bags anymore. Like,
Yeah.
don't know.
No.
now, if it happens again, I think it's going to be like some sort of maybe like a month suspension. And if it happens a third time, like I think it's a season long suspension. So I don't know in their public statement what all they're going to address and how open they're going to be, but I'll be interested. So that should be coming out. With my luck, it's probably going to come out like tomorrow.
Or today when you're listening to
Yeah,
this.
it probably dropped right now, like
Yeah.
while we're like recording this. So with our luck, so interesting stuff. All right,
That
want
it
to do
is.
dramatic readings?
We should.
Let's do it.
In a world where bean bags have brought men to their knees, social media serves as sanctuary for keyboard warriors. Time for the dramatic readings.
Addicted to cornhole. Lisa Kinu. Cody Henderson displayed commendable sportsmanship at the Iowa Open, upholding the values of the ACL. So when is the ACL going to start drug testing like all the other professional leagues? Let be real. I'm assuming they meant to say let's.
Let's be yeah.
It said let, so just verifying that, right? It says let.
Does say let.
First of all, like I don't know.
So are they insinuating that he's on drugs or something?
I don't really know. It's like a burner account too.
Yeah.
And all they tend to post about is like Cody Henderson like stuff. Like they ended up taking this one down and then reposting the same pictures, but like just with different like something.
Text
That,
on there,
yeah. It was just very weird. I think, and I've said this 1,000 times, I think guys like Cody Henderson that are animated are good for the game. It makes watching way more fun. It gives people something to talk about. And if you watch the doubles match where he called the timeout and he just stood there.
Yeah.
It is a competition. He is trying to use mental warfare. He's been interviewed on the show 2 or 3 times, and he said playing the mental game is like an OG tactic. And he's going to try anything. So if he doesn't have his best, and it didn't look like he really did, he's going to try something, throw him off his rhythm, make Jalen think about a shot. Now, it's not a great look that when you wait for that full timeout, just staring, your partner yells down like, did you want my input? And you're like, nope. And then you go and you missed your shot. Like, It's not a great look, but it worked once. It just did not work any other time. But I think Cody Henderson's good for the game, man. Like, I think that passion and I think it's a really
different
good
approach. I know some people are like, oh, it's cheap. No, it's not cheap. It's trying to utilize things in the game to your advantage.
Yeah.
Ever heard of icing a kicker?
Yeah.
Like, it's the same kind of shit.
Yeah, like Cody needs to be a little careful. Like, he can't be kicking the signs and stuff. That's a bad look.
Yeah, that's a little bit much. But again, animation isn't such a bad thing, though.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch.
100%.
Stop complaining, people.
Yeah, I think it's good. So, and regardless if you like him or not, it's fine. But I can tell you he's a very good dude off the court. But like on the court, when you're playing a competition against him, the dude just really wants to win. He's not there just to have fun.
Yeah.
He's there because he's taking his time because he thinks he can win. He's going to do whatever he can to win. And it wasn't anything dirty. He's allowed to call timeout and stand there if he wants to. It's his full right. There's no problem. Now,
you don't have to do anything
if I were Jones, I would have called a timeout as soon as Cody Henderson's bag stopped moving.
Yeah.
I would have called timeout just because I'm just
then I would just
like
stood
that.
at him.
Yeah, correct. Do you want my input? Nope.
Stare right at him, point at the bag. Like,
I'm like, I can stand here for a minute and miss my shot too. So like, we'll just, we'll be just fine. But no, I think Cody's great for the game. And it was fun to watch at least.
Loved it.
I like that he's relevant again this year. And a guy with throwing with Ethan Walker is just really good. I think it's gonna be very interesting.
Hell yeah.
Now Cody was throwing all slick side down.
He was.
Interesting. So I'm wondering if that's what is that still going to be the same bag he's going to throw in singles?
Or is he going to switch it up to?
I don't know. I'll be interested.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'll have to pay attention to that. So
we will see.
All right. So we got one more dramatic reading.
What?
Oh, we do. And this one's a doozy. I have to get a sip of water for this little long one. All right, addicted to cornhole. I'm addicted to cornhole. We've built an amazing community here, and we're so grateful for the passion and love for cornhole that each of you brings every day. As we keep growing, it's important that we keep things flowing. For those of you who run a business or community group and want to advertise or post from your business page, we're asking a change. You're always welcome to share your personal pages, but moving forward, if you'd post from your business page, we'll be requiring a monthly subscription fee. This helps us to manage content and keep the groups running smoothly while supporting the brands that help our community thrive. We're finalizing the deals, but we're excited about what's ahead. We know these changes may be an adjustment, but we believe it'll make Addicted to Cornhole even better for all of us. Thanks for being part of the journey with us. We're stoked to keep growing with you. Much love, the Addicted Cornhole team. Okay, so I kind of knew this was happening behind the scenes. I got a heads up about all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it was kind of only because our posts were being deleted. And I caused enough of a stink where I had admins reach out to me from Addicted Cornhole being like, hey, this is why we're testing something out. Like, just hold your horses. I put the 2 and 2 together, and then I read all this. I'm like, oh, it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, that there's going to be some sort of subscription fee. I think the subscription is going to be somewhere in the ballpark of $5 to $20 from what I've heard.
Yeah.
And they're going to have different tiers. I've not heard what the tiers are going to be. I am not against somebody trying to monetize an idea, right? I have no problem. Like I think honestly,
creators.
I think Addicted to Cornhole is probably late on this. Like I've been saying this for a while. I tried to talk to Tanisha Lashley about this like 2 years ago, saying like why like this is just being wasted. You have 100,000 people on there. I think it's up to 122,000 people or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it is valuable. Like there's people like us that like want to get the message out. It's a valuable area. The problem is I don't think it's always been moderated that well. I will say that over the last year it's improved some.
A bit.
But again, there's still a lot of
stuff sneaks through the cracks, and then
you have 122,000 people on there posting.
If it's that well moderated, though, then how often are we going to be able to clip that dramatic reading?
I mean, listen, I want that kind of stuff to keep going like that. We don't want this to turn into like, as long as you're not like harming anyone, you know, like personally calling somebody out. Like, I think it's okay. Like you're allowed to voice your opinion, and by all means, please keep doing it, people. Like it's been great for us. My question is, how much time is actually spent having to moderate a page like this? Because again, as a guy who's managing 5 social media pages and recording and booking guests and editing video, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
I get that there's time involved 100%. I get that, but how much of it is it? And what are we going to get for the monthly subscription? That's my biggest thing. I want to see analytics as a business guy. Like I want to see, if I pay you $10 a month, are you guaranteeing that like 1,000 people are going to see every one of my posts? Because my thing right now is I can't check that. If I share from so what I'll normally do is if I share like an episode, I just share from my personal page, just post it up there, throw it up there.
Yeah, I always see it up there.
I have no clue how many people see that post.
Yeah. None.
Like I don't get that much traction on it. Like I get maybe a like or two, but I can see the immediate analytics from what we do on our page. Yeah. So I know if I make a post about how many people are going to reach, it's going to reach in about like an hour or two. Like I'll have a good understanding of that first hour about what we're going to be at 24 hours. And we just go from there. That's my thing is if Addicted to Cornhole can look at the admin can see insight information like that, I'd be willing to pay. Like I have no problem. Like I'm willing to, I'm willing. Insight. Yeah. I'm willing to like help make the wheel go round. Like, or if I don't like it, guess what? I'm just going to post from the personal page. It's no big deal. So I guess I don't see like the negative side of things on this. Cause again, you could just share from your personal page. You don't have to do it from the business page.
Exactly my thoughts. Like there's a loophole through it.
And if you're not spending, I would say $50 a month marketing and you're a business owner anyways for Cornhole, you're not doing something right.
Very true.
I mean, if you're not running like ads on Facebook or Instagram or something, you're probably not managing it right, and reach out to me. We can maybe help you out or something.
Maybe we can.
But yeah, again, like I'm not against it. Like it's fine. I have no problem. My biggest thing, and again, like I'm going to reserve judgment until I get all the details. But I think there were 5 admins.
Yeah.
Now there's only 3. And I know one of them wasn't super thrilled that he got booted out. So my boy reached out to me, Josh Lunsford, and was not happy. I've not heard since what all went down. But I'll be interested because like if you just are booting people out, like if you've been there since the beginning, you know what I mean? Like I think that's I almost want to be bought out then. You know what I mean? Like you don't get to kick me out now.
Exactly. Yeah. But, I mean that's kind of shady, but we'll see what comes of it.
I'll be interested. So yeah. Oh yeah. We do have some listener questions.
Hey, those are always fun too.
Oh yeah, let me pull it up. Let's see here. I just have to say that reel from Cody Henderson. Here comes the putter throw. Just
chef's kiss.
Murdered today.
Yeah. It was a nicely timed one.
Okay. Jacob Lauder. He wants to know, is the ACO going to start getting stacked by these previous ACL pros who get cut out next year? Since they won't be able to have a requirement to strictly play ACL events, we're already seeing it this year with Holland and Purser and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Probably.
They're going to go play wherever they can and like where they think they can win some money.
I think exactly. And that's the thing. Like the highest level pro players, like if they don't make the top 100 cut, they're going to go where the money's at. So if there are like decent payouts at the ACL, they'll go. Yeah. I think we're going to see more guys to like going to like these bigger tournaments and local blind draws and all that. It's going to be a trickle down effect. Like none of us are going to like it.
Yeah.
I mean, I already saw Travis Purser. I think he was playing in like the advanced division at one of the, I think at the first Open and cleaned house.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what's going to happen.
The way of the world now. I mean,
We need to remember the ACL is trying to grow the game, but they are trying to also grow the professional side of cornhole.
yes.
So I don't think that all of us, although we probably should be more of a concern, I don't think we're always the primary concern.
No, you're not.
But yeah, I do think we'll see some of that. Okay, Jacob Lauder, another good question. Should there be a minimum requirement for pros who are allowed to return via application if they don't requalify the traditional route, or should they just allow anyone as long as they get the thumbs up from the ACL board or whoever makes that call? I mean, if you're going to make it as an application, then that means that there might be outside circumstances that prevented them from playing. So putting some sort of like a minimum requirement is kind of tough. Like somebody like Jay Rubin, like maybe he only played twice last year.
Yeah.
But you're going to hold it against him when we all know he's probably a top 100 player in the world. Like, you know, if you want the best, like that's what it is.
You got to go get the best.
To me, that's what it should come down to. Like, are you marketable? Like, do you have a good following? Like, do you have a voice in this game? That's going to give you one little checkpoint.
Very true.
Are you really fucking good? Like, do we really think you can win a national? All right, that's another check.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if you get a check, then yeah, I think you should probably get an application. But I don't think that they're going to have too many of those available anymore.
Dude, it's more and more sounding to me like this is the year to nut up or shut up.
Yeah.
And qualify the real way.
All right, so Angel Rodriguez III wants to know CPI. What is it, and why does it matter to a player? So I think they're calling that is it the Cornhole Power Index?
It's ACL Scoreholio.
Yeah, pretty much. It's like a metric to
SPR.
determine like how strong of a player you are.
Yeah.
I know that once upon a time they had talked about in order to qualify, I think it's going into next year, in order to qualify for like to be like an elite player, you have to have a certain CPI.
Okay.
Basically like, or your SPR if you're familiar with like Scoreholio. So that's basically what it is.
So that's where the number lies. I mean, don't you have to play like a bunch of rounds and stuff too to get that number?
I think so. I'm not positive. I'm hoping I got the minimum this week.
I know. It's like, just give me my really good rating after this weekend.
All right. So Kevin Mays, what do you think the ACL should do to fix its issue, to fix its juniors issue as it pertains to DraftKings? DraftKings cannot always enjoy giving all the money back when a junior wins. Sure, they created a junior pro division, but then that does not mandate that's where the juniors must play until they're 18. I think this is one of those things that you can't really avoid it right now.
I think
unfortunately,
I think
cross your fingers and
I think the writing's on the wall. I have a feeling that this 100 pros is not going to include juniors.
I'd be very surprised if it did.
Yeah, so like they're going to have their own separate absolute dog of a division
really
going
is.
on,
Yeah.
and it is what it is. Like, you can't become a pro till you're 18, so that DraftKings can put lines on you. I just think we have to.
I would love to see
be a
them
little patient.
completely separate it next year.
Yeah,
And then at the World Championships, have an event.
exactly.
Have the best of the
No
best.
lines on
best
it,
of the
just-
seniors, best of the juniors, best women's, and best pro. And then you have a random draw, and you go play
Let's just-
21 and go
Yeah, I love it. Like that
for a big cash prize kind of
that'd
thing.
be awesome to see it throw down
I mean, that would technically be like the true like world champion, right?
for sure.
I would imagine so.
Yeah, I would love that. The
So-
gauntlet.
All right. So next one, James Carroll with a little shout out. How about Team Big Asp getting 5th at the regional? Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Mitch Feist, how can the ACL draw a circle on your bags and then deem it illegal? I kind of agree.
Yeah, we
Okay.
did say that.
Britt Moore, I've not seen this question yet. All right. If you could hand pick any two players to watch in a singles championship game, who would it be? I did it too. Round limited and non-round limited. All right. So non-round limited, he had Matt Guy versus Gary Bearpaw. And then round limited, he had Jeremiah Ellis versus Jamie Graham.
So he's looking for like that really long match. You said, was that round limited for Matt Guy and Gary Bearpaw?
No, it was non-round limited.
Yeah, exactly. So he's looking for like a 3-hour long slide 4 bags in the whole match for that one. That would not be my cup of tea. I want to see the action.
I want to see guys that can do stuff with a bag that I can't do.
Yes.
And
And both of them are so stubborn that they like have to throw that style all the time.
I mean, I think one of my guys, there's two ways I can go about this. I can go with guys I enjoy watching throw because I think it's so quirky and so good. Like Ethan Walker.
Yeah.
Like every time he releases a bag, I can't tell if it's going to be good or bad. Yeah, I mean,
Honestly,
like this
he
little
was
wrist flick.
One of the
thing
first
and,
ones that came to my mind too. He is fun to watch.
I think honestly, just because like I think there's the storyline's gone a little bit, but like last year would have been like Tony Smith and Jacob Trzynski,
Yeah.
kind of thing in singles,
Like little-
battling
yeah.
it out.
Little bad blood.
I think honestly, I've said it before, because there's that little bit of a rivalry, non-round limited. I got to go Ellis and Graham right now.
Yeah, I mean it would be a fun battle to watch.
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah, and round limited. Give me Eric Davis and Ethan Walker.
Yeah, I mean I was definitely thinking Eric Davis for round limited, but then I was thinking Adam Hissner and Eric Davis for round limited.
Yeah,
and then I don't know for 21. That one's tough, but give me Chamberlain against Ethan Walker.
Okay.
I think it would just be fun to see these dudes do some crazy stuff with bags.
A lot of people talking about like minimal turnouts at their league. So I did.
Yeah, I mean we've gone over it, folks. It's just if you're sitting there, just think about all of the stuff going on around you now. We are in a gluttony phase of cornhole, and just be appreciative. I think those like
at least in our area. Again, we can't
Yeah.
speak, so I'm interested
Dude,
in hearing.
I think it's consistent across the board. I really do. Like, I mean, you look at all the photos of
Again,
like,
I would
tonight's
love
blind
to
draw.
see the Scorholio stuff just to kind of get where it's at.
Like, how frequent do you see the like I won tonight's blind draw pop up like on your Facebook feed or on our Facebook page? There's so many going on all the time now. It's way different than what it used to be.
Tom Covey, great seeing you fellas this weekend. Been a long time and always a fan of the show. Love you, Tom. Great seeing you.
Hell yeah. The mullet's back, folks.
Oh, dude, it's just
all right, so
awesome.
just beware.
Brian Schermeister, with the ACL currently structured with opens, signatures, regionals, and so on, it looks similar to the PGA with its tournament structure with majors and tour championships. Should the ACL look at how Live is doing its teams and having it be part of the actual tournament? I'm not opposed to that. Again, I think that right now teams is already hard enough to track. I get what you're saying. Like it's basically playing fantasy cornhole.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like honestly, so if that's the case, like call me if you want me to be your manager.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean?
We'll
Like,
figure it out.
but that's what it would come down to. I don't hate the idea. I just think that we need to get teams established first.
Yeah. I mean, I do like the theory behind it.
It
as
would
making
show theoretically who has like the best team.
Exactly.
Like
yeah.
based off like, but what if you have teammates facing each other?
Yeah,
Like how's
so
that work?
To
You know what
me,
I mean?
like it would only have to be doubles based.
Not necessarily, because you could still play one of your partners who
No,
plays
I know that, but I'm just saying like it would have to like, and then it's just based on finishes. But like when you draft, I feel like you would have to draft based on doubles pairings.
Yeah, I mean, I think you could go this route. You just have to scrap like the other team event. Like when you're playing in the open tournament, like you're rocking your team jersey.
Yeah.
Like so you're still trying to win independently, but you're also winning for your team.
Yeah, or like the
think
hat
I
of
could
your team or something like
I can kind of see that.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind it. Again,
It's no different than what a lot of us do, like when we have like the squad cups.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like where you're getting your team going against our team. We used to have league night.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We'd divvy up into 4 different squads. We'd all battle it out. Like that
those
is
were the
really no
most fun
different than
night.
that.
Yeah. And honestly, like I might be one of the few people with live golf that I actually enjoy the setup of it, but it's hard to watch because their commentators suck and stuff. So like it does make it difficult, but like there is an added level of
I agree.
pressure throughout the tournament. So like, yeah, I'm here
agree.
for it.
Do agree. All right, and then one more. Brian Colony wants to know, can we get a better safeguard against folks just registering with a new email to move down? Like if the cell number or debit info and such is the same, it won't work. It's not discussed much. Some folks make new accounts to move down. I guess I'm not running tournaments as much. I'm sure it happens.
Yeah.
I agree there probably should be some sort of safeguards, and I'm sure maybe if it was more of a prevalent issue, then maybe the safeguard, like that'd be up on the priority list. But I think it's important for the ACL to know that people are thinking about this. And you're right, it's not really talked about.
And I mean, the people doing it are just
losers.
Yeah. POSs. For
So
sure.
Brian, I would just say like, just know that you're better than them in every way and you're not a loser and you don't do that. So
just know that you
don't
like
losers.
actually like challenges in life, and that you want to become a better player, not just sit there and beat up on the noobs.
Completely agree.
Yeah.
Ooh, a little slow-mo.
I did. Yeah.
All right. Well, you can reach us at Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and TikTok at Big Ass Cornhole.
And Facebook, because it's the only one that's left at Big Ass Cornhole Podcast. Thanks again to our best sponsor
In the whole wide world.
Yeah, we love you so much. Draggin
Listen,
Bags.
We took 5th this weekend. I can't explain enough.
Once again, 10.4. I threw over a 10 throwing Draggin Bags.
Yes.
Power Dragons.
Just imagine what you can do.
Exactly. Okay, so just become me.
Draggin Bags
right?
with a Z.com.
What else could you ask for?
Just go. The
Code Big Ass 12.
New designs are just awesome. So
Yes.
seriously, don't take our word for it. Just go buy stuff.
Just do it.
Yes.
Then we have Patreon.
We do have Patreon.
Yeah. So
what's Patreon? It's this area. It's a special community of just awesome individuals. It's an area in space. It's a location where if you're looking to support the show for the price of a beer a month, you can come and get bonus content. We post up the video version of all of our episodes, do bag giveaways. We do monthly happy hour calls, and we're going to be rescheduling. I apologize for Saturday or Friday. It just was not working out that night.
Yeah.
Kid was sick and just, so
Guards
sorry
game
for,
and,
sorry
you
for,
know.
Well, it wasn't even that. Like I was fine having it in the background, but
we would have
my
heard
daughter was just in
screaming
rough
and
shape.
cursing.
So I apologize for canceling that last minute, but we're going to reschedule soon. Stickers are on their way. So if you haven't gotten a sticker and you're a paid member, check your messages on Patreon. Because if you don't have your address linked to your account, I don't know where to send shit. So
Very
if you
true.
don't answer the message, that's why you haven't gotten a sticker. So check your messages on Patreon if you're a member. Greatly appreciate it. And if you're looking to check it out, go to patreon.com/bigasscornhole. And again, for the price of beer a month, you can keep this thing going.
Hell yeah. The whole time you were talking right there, I was still stuck on area. And then I was like,
Why?
maybe it's the areola because it's the teat of all the good stuff.
That's good. That's what you've spent like 30
Yeah.
seconds thinking. All right. Well,
It was just wanted to let everyone out at home know that.
I had to live with him for a long time, so I get it.
You're the lucky one, Sean. You're the lucky one.
That's what they say.
You're the one that comes over every week. So
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. So I hope you guys enjoy the interview. We're going to be joined by Jeremy Schermerhorn and Joe K, just two of our best favorite dudes. We talk a lot about the teams aspect. Jeremy was a big part of all the trades behind the scene, building the roster, what their thoughts on the new policies, and why they decided to team back up.
yeah,
Joe is very honest on what happened last year and where he's at going into this year. And we really like those guys. They're two of our favorites.
heck yeah. And honestly, I wish them the best of luck this year. I hope they go back to, 2 years ago form and just surprise everyone.
Yep.
Would love to see it.
Hell yeah.
Talk about a fun team to watch.
Oh yeah. All right, folks. Well, we'll be back next week with more audio gold, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Enjoy the interview, and we love you always. And as always, we hope you throw it straight. And it's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later. All right, welcome back to the Big Ass Cornhole Podcast, where we are now joined by ACL dynamic duo, Mr. Joe Kniesteadt and Papa Jeremy Schermerhorn. What's going on, guys?
What's going on?
We got to think of a
Not
better
much.
nickname than that.
Okay,
shit.
no, first of all, he's a new dad, right?
No, I'm thinking I'm not the Papa Jeremy Schermerhorn.
not
I'm
the
talking about
dynamic
dynamic
duo.
duo.
All right, well,
we'll
it's off the
think of
top.
something better than that.
So, Jeremy, how old's the baby now?
Wednesday he'll be 8 weeks.
You know they're still little when you're still counting it in weeks. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that's crazy. So how much is like life changed?
It's changed a little bit more.
Yeah.
But I mean, taking on, the family with her 2 boys, whatever, I had to stop playing throughout the week pretty much and settle down on the whole going out 4 to 5 to
Yeah.
6 times a week
Yeah,
playing.
it
So
sucks.
I'm already used to that, point because I go, after work with Steve Gray, we'll go play at like noon, 1 o'clock, and we'll
Yeah.
just go throw and practice. So it's not a big deal. But
Okay.
having the baby, yeah, it's definitely different. A little bit less sleep, and
Yeah.
but it's fun, dude. It's literally fun. I love
It
it.
is. Yeah, I always say like my favorite ages are until they get to like 6 months, because when they get to 6 months, they can start moving around. Like right now, you can set the baby down, leave the room, come back. They didn't move. They're still there. You know what I mean? They can't roll over or anything yet. So
Sean, my wife listens to this podcast. You can't leave the room.
He's starting to roll on his side, like
Oh.
so we gotta kind of watch him a little bit. Like,
yeah, that sucks.
That's when you
He's
just
like-
build a pillow for it.
Oh yeah, for sure. You block
oh
them
yeah,
out.
we got that like U pillow, like it goes on your neck almost, and just stuff him in there.
The amount of stuff that you buy for a baby that like you never end up using, and you're like, oh, it's at at the
It's
time you
for
buy
safety.
it. Well, it sounds like a good idea,
Yeah.
and then you're like, this is not fucking practical at all. It just takes up space, and then like no one wants it after that. It's like
Very true.
They're smarter than me. So, Joe, what's going on with you, man?
Not much. Just I got a new job.
Yeah, where are you working?
So I'm doing aerospace now.
Sweet.
So I'm doing some real cool stuff. It's pretty cool. We got some contracts with like NASA and like Blue Origin.
Are you on the
can't go,
engineering side of things?
like I'm in the front office.
Okay.
And like quality, but I can't get like too deep into it. But
I got you.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I like it.
Sweet. So you guys decided to you took a year off, right? You guys stepped away, decided to play with different people, and then the inevitable happened, right? Like the moons are just out, the stars were aligned again. And how did it all work out that you guys decided to play again together this year?
I missed mentally abusing my partner, and
I mean, yeah, I get that.
me and Sherm, we talk at least once or twice a week. Even last year, like we've been really good friends past couple 2-3 years. So, we definitely, for me, it was like, all right, it was pretty easy. It's like, all right, if I'm going to come back and play the game, I got to have fun with it, and I'm going to play with my good buddy. So,
okay. So last year you played with Jordan, right? A lot of expectations in there. Just overall, what was the experience like? You know what I mean? Like, were you still having fun playing last year?
I'm going to be honest. No.
Okay. And why is it? Were
Like
you struggling, or was it just like you guys just didn't have good chemistry, or?
There was that, and like I just had so much personal stuff going on at home. Just a lot with, the expectations, fulfilling the sponsorship, fulfilling the expectations from, the people that support me, along with Jordan. Obviously he's got some pretty high expectations coming off a world championship. So
yeah,
there was a lot that had to do with it. Big bag adjustment. I adjusted. I didn't have the same. I wasn't throwing the same bag for more than maybe a month or two. So
okay,
I couldn't really get used to a good set of bags that I liked. And then it just didn't really add up for me. Wasn't in the cards.
So you guys are throwing Siva this year?
Yeah.
See Jeremy rocking the hoodie. I like it.
Yeah, tits up, buddy.
What?
Be proud. There it is.
Have you? I know it's early in the season. Have you guys like found yourselves liking one series more than another?
I'm still rocking with the Serpents.
Okay.
The last couple opens, the boards have been a little bit slicker than expected. So we've tried out the Nighthawks, and they've worked pretty well. So
okay.
Between those two, there's a couple he might want to try, like the Siege, but we'll see. It's still trial and error, man. We got, I don't know, 4 or 5 more months before the actual signatures happen, and
yeah,
that's when the real shit gets going.
Well, yeah, I got a set of matrices in today.
Okay.
And I was throwing them, and they're just money, dude.
Is that their herringbone bag?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Little known fact. Nighthawks name rights are because of Sean.
Yes.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was in a group chat, and they were looking for bag series names, and we joking around.
We rattled
with them.
off like 45 bag names, and then Sean said Nighthawk, and we were like, "That's the one."
Yep.
Bye.
All right. And then we get a set of bags. Still probably my favorite like custom design of all time was they redid the Titanic scene, but they had Dane's face over Jack, and I was Rose, and it was pretty funny. Like it was. Those are still in the garage. Like those are keepers. I can't seem to give away. You know what I mean? Like it's just awkward.
But maybe we'll break them in for you guys, and if you need them on a broadcast, that could be your set.
For sure.
So I'm interested for you guys. You guys are both obviously working individuals. Obviously the travel can get tough and all that stuff. Did you guys like the changes to like the overall like scheduling format stuff? Like, did it help you at all? Like, do you feel like it's more or less?
I'm glad they got away with Thursday, because like when they made Thursdays last year, we had it was the first 2 events. We had our national something on Thursday, and And then we had Teams, CBS broadcast. I said right up when they announced it, I was like, dude, this is not helping us out for the working people.
Yeah.
And they were adamant that it was, yada yada. And I'm like, I'm telling you right now, it's not.
Yeah.
Because we got to take 2 days off in 1 week. And, not many people have the kind of job I have where I'm straight commission. So like if I miss a Thursday and a Friday on a good route, dude, that's potentially $800 in those 2 days gone. Just to go gamble and maybe win out of 256 pros. Like it sucked. And I'm glad they got away with it. Then we're back to Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And even if the opens right now, you don't even have to show up for Friday. Saturday's doubles again, Sunday's singles. So I'm excited for it.
Good.
Yeah, I like the 12:30 on Saturday for opens.
Yeah, that was nice.
Yeah,
a little sleeping. So starting a new job and stuff, are there any concerns with traveling? Do you work remotely?
For me, yeah, no, I don't work remotely. They were pretty cool with it. Going in, I had to be upfront and honest. In the interview process and all that. So, they're cool with it right now for now.
Okay.
But yeah, we'll see.
So can I ask what changed? Because I think last time we talked to you, you were all in cornhole. You decided I'm doing this full time. I'm going to give it a go. I know I think you had hired somebody to for social media stuff and your content was coming out all the time. Where does all this change now?
A lot of personal stuff.
Okay.
And then there was, I'm not going to say I lost the passion for it, but I definitely wasn't enjoying it, as much as I was. And I don't know. I do enjoy what I do now. I do enjoy the aerospace. I did enjoy the automotive.
Yeah.
So before this, I was, I had a pretty nice job at Tesla and working out in Silicon Valley, and I was doing some cool things. And I kind of dove into cornhole, like you said, just kind of went all out. Like I said, I had a lot of personal things happen, back home that kind of changed my perspective, moving around different, houses and stuff. And, just a lot of different events that happened that kind of changed. But yeah, right now, if I can bounce back and get back into it, just have fun, focus on having fun, and then whatever happens, and then we'll go from there. And then honestly, with the whole ACL, this is an ACL podcast, so it's I don't want to go too far.
We're not an ACL podcast.
You guys talk about ACL
we do.
stuff,
Yeah.
But it's they're drawing a lot of the money out of the players, a lot of the money out of the sponsorships. If you're not growing, you're slowing, and I don't see the long-term outlook for the players, at least.
Yeah, I think it's interesting. Going off that, do you guys think it's a good move, or did you like the move that they're cutting the pro field down to 100?
Honestly, it depends. I heard they were talking about doing a salary type deal.
Okay.
And if that's the case, that's that's completely different. But yeah, they're very vague about telling everybody hey, this is what's going to happen, and then all of a sudden, beginning of the year, we made all these rule changes, and this is different, and this is different, and I don't know. We'll see.
Okay. Jeremy, what do you think about the whole trimming of the pro field down to 100?
Initially I'm I don't know how that works, because mathematically when I think about it, we're paying $500 this year, but we've been paying $1,000 per pro, and you're cutting out 156 players. That's, anywhere from $80,000 to $156,000 coming out of the, the pot or whatever we're paying into. So it's how are you making up that money? Especially if you're going to, give the players a salary, those top 100 players, you're going to give them a salary. Okay, where's that extra money coming from? Because don't get me wrong, I love the ACL. I love what we've been doing, the opportunities and whatnot. But, 6 years into this thing, and it's all right, now I'm having second thoughts, what's going to happen? What's the long term? So it's all right, are we going to bump the sponsorship? Are we going to make the top 100? If we do, what's it going to be like? Like, I just don't know. So like the optimism that we once had, it's kind of faded away because like it's a very unknown situation right now when you just look at it.
No, I agree. And I think it's been one of my biggest criticism of the ACL is that if they are planning everything right ahead of time, like they're working on all these plans for what's going to roll out next year, to me, like it shouldn't seem like such a shotgun decision when they finally release it. Like it seems like some days like they get an idea, like, fuck it, let's just run with that. Like this is the best we got. We're just going to roll with it. And then they're kind of like adapting as they go along. And like here, I will say they do listen to complaints, right? They do listen, they hear feedback, and they do try to adapt, and I'll give them credit for that. But you know, some of the decisions don't always seem like they're thought out to the best that they maybe could. So
yeah, but I mean, there's been a big rumor through the mill. I don't know if you guys heard, but Bush's is coming out with a new secret recipe, so they might be throwing even more money at the ACL. We don't know yet. Okay,
my God.
All right, because we know Seagram's isn't popping off.
Yeah, that was interesting.
Different source of beans.
Oh, you don't want to know where they come from.
So Jeremy, it's interesting. I think it's interesting that you say that like the optimism isn't what it was once upon a time, because you're one of the co-captains for the teams, right? And to me, you've been a very early on driving force on trying to make this a little bit more exciting. All right. First of all, I'm assuming do you do all of the Michigan stuff like online, or is it like you and Jordan?
You really think Jordan's going to be on
No,
social?
I knew that. I just.
Kind of just took off from there. I mean, and I actually enjoy doing it. That's the crazy thing. I don't think many players like want to take the extra time and like actually enjoy it. Like it's fun to me. Like it's something different. It's like not fantasy football, but it's kind of similar to it, and it just, I don't know, it intrigues me.
No, I thought, and I think that you did such a good job too of keeping everyone updated on what the trades were and everything. Now, I will say, we did say like during our breakdown, right? We thought for sure that you were approaching this like it was fantasy football, and you decided to go a completely different route. So like you guys traded a whole bunch of like all your picks, and you ended up with the full roster going in. Now, there were a few people that maybe weren't thrilled with, you know, the decisions that were being made. They thought maybe they were getting drafted in certain positions. You know, it happens. But why did you ultimately decide to go with experience rather than like the youth craze? Like, I mean, like Matt Guy's running a daycare on his team. Yeah, I mean, like he decides to go with everyone under the age of 15. I don't know what's going on, but like you guys made the effort of really going after established players. I mean, obviously that was kind of the plan going in.
No, that was not the plan at all. The plan, once we knew that we had the number one pick, it was Jay Rubin.
Yeah.
Like 100% Jay. Like,
yeah.
And we even tried to fight for Jay before all of this even happened. Given, you know, an example of like when Calvin Johnson has a 4-year contract and decides to retire and he wants to come back 2 years later, like
he
the
comes
Lions
back.
on the right.
Yeah, correct.
And we kind of felt the same way in a sense, although we're not signing contracts to do this. But at the same time, he was forced out of the game for personal reasons. He didn't just say, okay, I don't want to play no more. So that was kind of our argument. And, you know, so some people in the ACL were like, yeah, we're down with it. But ultimately, we didn't get the rights back to him, and he was in the draft. So
did the Timber approach you guys?
No. So it's funny because like I would message Jordan constantly, like just throwing up scenarios like, what if we do this? What if we do that? And I told Jordan, I was like, dude, I got this crazy ass idea. Like, I know you want Jay, but what if I told Ryan, Jay's partner, hey, number 1 overall pick, and then I just threw out the 6. Like I didn't even think about it. And then I asked for their number one pick back plus a second, and I don't think there was anything else.
You got Cole. Was that where you guys got Colby originally?
That was somewhere else.
That was somewhere else. Okay.
I think it was just the number 1 overall, our 6th.
No, you guys got a player too, I thought. No, it was Caden Allen.
Oh, it was Caden Allen. Yeah. We had Caden Allen. Their number 1 pick and second round pick. So the second round pick was like a third overall pick in the second round. So obviously, like, I'm thinking, like, all right, this is probably not going to happen. And this is like 8 o'clock in the morning. I know he's at school, whatever. 3 o'clock comes around. I say, hey, what's your thoughts? And like 30 minutes later, he's like, we'll do it. I'm like, wait, what? I texted Jordan right away. It's like, screenshotted it. Hey, this is what happened. He's like, done deal. We're doing it. And we set it up with Trey, and it went through. So I threw the bait out there, and they took it.
So why did you ultimately guys pivot away from, you guys were trading draft picks straight up for players? Like, did you guys have a strategy in your head? Because I mean, the new format, I don't know about you guys, I love it. I think the fact that you're making teams more exciting by adding singles and crew cup and the tandem doubles, I think like the strategy behind it. So what did you guys use the format to kind of put together a team, or were you just like, we just want to get really talented guys on our team?
Honestly, like I said, like we weren't planning on building the team that we have now.
Okay.
We were going into it with that 1 pick to get Jay. Then I threw something crazy out. It turned around where we actually gained, I think, more value for that number 1 overall pick. So we were looking at a 7 overall pick plus 2 second rounds and an early 3rd. I mean, that was pretty solid. So we're going to the draft and, get 4 picks and 43 picks overall. So we're going to do that. And then we get at the draft, and a couple of teams approached us, and, the Mays offered Alex Hicks, and we're like, what do you want? And then we gave up, I think, our late 2nd and a 5th. And we're like, done deal. And then Colby came around, and that was like a 3rd and a 4th or something like that.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
And we was like, okay, sure. So we still got our 2 seconds or whatever. Or no, we had our 1st and a 2nd. Oh, we dropped Colby. We switched picks. So we went down to 11.
Okay.
We were 7, went down to 11 for Colby. That was the burn. And so we're still, sitting at 11th overall, thinking, all right, if we draft, we're getting Matt Wilson, hopefully, or some other stud. Like, and we just picked up Alex Hicks, Colby, Caden Allen.
Yeah.
Like,
that's a pretty good core. Yeah.
You're looking pretty damn good.
Yeah. Like your 10 is almost set already.
Yeah. We had, I think, 8 players at that time. And then Jamie Graham came late just before the draft started and threw out those 3 players. And we said, here's all of our picks. And we said, peace out.
So, okay.
Bars open. Let's go.
Did you have an opportunity to talk with Tommy? Because apparently Tommy was like not thrilled, like afterwards, like when he found out that Jamie had traded him.
I talked to him before or after the fact?
After the fact.
I mean, we have our group chat. Like, things have been said in there. I don't think there's any like personal bad blood.
Yeah.
I think from what my understanding is, like, the tension in that whole Carolina group from last year, that didn't gel.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
I think the captain just didn't want that, and he wanted to just start fresh. So we got it. And I don't know if it was just like a slap in the face or out of nowhere for Tommy, but I don't know.
I mean, I'm sure it was a little bit of a sign of disrespect. I mean, they had a really good season last year. You know what I mean? Like, they were top 10 doubles team. And then that's why I was surprised when I saw what you guys, I mean, you turned your first pick. We broke it down. You guys turned the number 1 pick into Alex Hicks. You had Chad Hunt. You had Tommy, Caden Allen. And then, am I forgetting somebody? I think that was
Modlin.
it. And Frank Modlin. Are you serious? Like, that's crazy. Like, for 1 pick. Like, that's well done. Tip of the cap, sir.
I mean, Jay Rubin better not miss a bag if they want that to be worth the value.
I think it's super interesting. So, did you guys hear at all about the stuff that was going down about like the bag check? Like, the bag was tested after somebody won and the bag failed.
No,
they said they're going to do that. They said they're going to do that at every tournament.
So apparently that has been happening so far. So in the rules, it does say that at any point during the tournament, it's up to the director's discretion, but they can test any bag, and that any bag of a winner of a tournament is subject to be tested at the director's discretion. And if you If your bags fail, you forfeit the winnings. You get to keep the win on your record, but like you forfeit the winnings. So we've since clarified from the ACL that it actually happened to Tony Forbes. All right, Tony Forbes this weekend, after he won junior singles, his bags were tested. Apparently Tony was present, and his bags were too thin. Right, they're too broken in, so they failed. The rumor going around was that he was not going to collect his winnings. Apparently that was not the case, and he did collect his winnings, but he has a warning, and if it happens going forward, something's going to happen. Mm-hmm. What's going to happen, they don't know. So obviously they're pivoting a little bit because they're going away from what the rules say. Because the rules say that if your bags fail, like you're going to get
done. So
yeah, you're going to forfeit the winnings, and then the second time it happens, you get like a month forfeit, and then the third time it happens, like you're gone for a year. The ACL has since told me that they're going to be coming out with a public statement, like explaining all this stuff, breaking down. So I'm kind of waiting for that to come out. I don't know when it's going to come out. Probably Wednesday morning. Like,
yeah, just before the episode, get ahead of it.
Stuff like that.
We'll try.
But did you guys hear about any of that?
Yeah, I heard about it. I seen it on that Facebook group page.
Okay.
But I didn't really dig too far deep into it because honestly, like, no offense, I just didn't really care much to know more about it.
Yeah. I just thought it was wild, like that. Again, like I guess it puts a little bit on you guys now to like test your bags, make sure that they're not like overly broken in.
Right? Very true.
Yeah. Well, I did hear at the last Open, someone posted in our pro chat that they had their bags randomly tested, and a couple others chimed in and said they did too. So I guess that's the thing, is like everyone's getting randomly tested. But as far as like the end result, maybe we just need to have a station where we can just like, all right, check them before we play this tournament, because if I win the damn thing and I think they're good, they were good last tournament, now they're not, like I'd be kind of pissed off. But I got my winnings.
That's what I was thinking too.
Like a pre-bag check.
Yeah, exactly.
Area.
Like before you even start the tournament.
It's going to be open from 7 to 8. Sure. You got to get here between that time.
It just seems a little bit extreme after the tournament to take all of the winnings instead of, just 100% fine for this penalty. It's kind of like the distraction rule. Have you guys ever looked into that?
No.
So the distraction rule is actual complete disqualification, end of the match right there. Everybody walks off.
If you do something to like purposely distract the guy throwing.
Yeah. It's not like a dead bag. It's not like, I don't know. That one seems a little bit like over the top to me.
Yeah. Cause like who determines like what the distraction is?
But yeah, there's gotta be a ref, and it has to be deemed like on purpose.
Okay.
So if someone's on like intentionally distracting, the other person, then the game's called dead. I've never even heard of that.
No, me either.
Like,
hey, I mean, if you guys want to pay me to go stand right behind main court, shirt off, and I'll just like put some oil on, just to distract the component, like your opponents.
Slick his 3 hairs.
Just
down,
saying, to me that sounds like a loophole. All right.
Hey, we're gonna use you as our distraction and call you their distraction.
Yes, correct.
So we get the win.
There you go.
I mean, there you go.
Flip it. There we go. Sold.
See, that's why he's a captain.
Exactly. He's a thinker over there.
The one thing, are you having fun a little? I know you're making an effort to try to make teams a little bit more fun, right? You're posting like just friendly banter, trash talk. I would say there's been maybe 2 or 3 teams, like the Woodchucks come to mind, and Kentucky, who are shooting back a little bit. Is there any other teams that have been trying to have fun or trying to be creative?
There was one post I made on the Michigan page, and there was five teams: Florida, Ohio, Colonels, Woodchucks, one other team, maybe Ohio. I said Ohio. One other team, but the Woodchucks and the Colonels are really the only 2 teams that have actually, stayed in conversation and that friendly banter.
Yeah.
I try scoping out and see who's making posts. Like Pennsylvania made a post to the roster, and I just made some smart ass remark. Thumbs down,
Dog
whatever.
Florida
Freeze did the same thing, and so I commented on their post, but nothing really like full fledged. And it's like,
just means you need to go harder.
Have fun with it.
I know. You need to go harder in the paint.
I'm trying to be nice about it, just friendly banter, but like, come on.
It's time to not be friendly anymore. Just call it banter. Let's go.
So now that you guys have like a roster constructed, like how do you guys go about deciding who's going to play what? Like, is it a conversation? Is it like, no, we drafted you to play doubles, or no, we drafted you to play tandem or crew cup, or, you know what I mean? Are you going to like a hot hand approach, like in singles kind of thing? Like, have you guys talked about that at all?
With Jordan, I have, I think 100% Jaden's going to be our singles guy.
Yeah. Makes sense.
We talked about Frank hopping in there because he's good at that round limited stuff. But Jordan just had a monster weekend. They got double dipped. Was shooting almost an 11 the whole tournament at regionals. So he also threw his name in there this past weekend when we talked. But definitely going to have Tommy and Chad run the doubles. I mean, that's a no-brainer. We've also talked about Alex Six and Jordan running tandem doubles.
Okay.
And then just sticking me, Mike, Sarah, and Joe in crew because we've all thrown ultra bags before. So
that's true. Yeah. Okay.
I don't know. There's a couple of spots people can move around. I mean, Kiera just had a tremendous weekend this past Open, so she's definitely probably gonna earn some playing time.
Okay.
I've also said like I would sit my ass down and just go live for our Facebook page and like, let the best 10 play. Like I don't care, dude. As long as we win, like I'm good.
Pulling a Charlie Conway.
Yeah, I mean, last I
Mighty
checked,
Ducks.
MLB managers don't get out there and play. So, all right,
Not anymore.
it's true. They used to.
Once upon a time,
Once
player
upon a
manager
time.
kind of thing.
Hey,
see.
Kiera shot a 10-7 against me this weekend.
Holy shit.
Hey, your boy shot a 10-4.
You did.
So what's up now? You guys?
Good for a 5th place finish.
Yeah, you guys scared?
Is that your first time?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I was like, hey, this number can be double digits.
Trying to think. What have you guys gone to? Have you guys like had like your October regional yet?
We've had 2 of our Southern directors do their first one the first weekend, like we were in Rock Hill. So that kind of sucked. We got one that's literally in our backyard coming up this Saturday. So we'll be going to that one and hopefully tearing it up.
Okay.
Is it a costume party one?
No.
Come on.
Joe,
Every avenue to make this.
Joe,
thing
you
more
said you
fun.
went to a regional recently?
No, I haven't gotten to one.
Okay. I'm just interested to hear about, because I keep getting messages from people across the country that the numbers like are just down at regionals. So I'm interested to hear, like, see what you guys see at your guys'
Well, I mean,
regional.
I was thinking that too, but then I saw how many people in Cleveland were actually in Iowa.
Yeah, but
There's a
even like
ton
the
of them
Iowa
that
Open
traveled,
seemed
though.
like kind of like.
Yeah, but a bunch of the locals here traveled over
no,
there,
that's
so
true.
like it was a little surprising. But just want to
I
note that
think a
Sean, we
lot
have
of that
more
has to
local
do
points.
with directors doing these regionals during the Opens.
Yeah.
Because like I look forward ahead in November and December, we got one guy that does the Great Shots venue.
Yeah.
He's got them at Opens. Like we'll be gone, I think, December 8th. We'll be gone for that one. He's at regional.
Yeah.
November, I think is Ohio. Maybe he's got a regional.
Okay.
Or no, it's Arkansas, but we're not going to Arkansas, so we're good on that. But it's like, why can't we not put them on open weekends?
Yeah.
Like,
Well, it is
you
hard
try
though,
and-
as like I mean, Great Shot's a little different story because they could literally say, "Hey, we're going to host this tournament this weekend," but like everyone else, they're just struggling with the timing of everything. They've had stuff
it's
booked since like last year, and then all of a sudden they just drop the opens in there, and you're like, "Well, we're gonna just have to run it anyways. Doesn't matter."
yeah. I mean, these six have been out for 3 months. Like, I feel like they could have been worked around, but I don't know. I got more opinion on that, but I'm gonna keep it to myself.
Well, Tornado said, why is the attendance for the ACL low this year? Spencer's was down 200 teams. Open number 1 was down almost 200 teams from last year. I heard that there were less than 200 teams in Iowa. Why is there an exodus from the ACL? What the fuck is happening? What's wrong with people?
Maybe they haven't heard about the secret recipe from Bush's Beans. It's about to drop a lot of money in the ACL's pocket.
Well, I think a lot of it is that there's just more places to play now.
100%.
Like there's
man.
more, like before, like in our area, if you didn't go to the regional, like on the week, and you weren't part of a league, like, well, fuck off. Like, you're not going to get to play.
Yeah.
But now, like 5 nights a week, we can go find something on Scornhole and just play locally. You know what I mean? I feel like that's a lot of people are just kind of going away from like the super ultra competitive side of cornhole and just going out to have fun. Cause I think the overall numbers for the game are up.
Yeah. I mean, I think Joe brought up the point earlier about the game maybe losing its luster. I think a lot of people maybe are getting away from the ultimate like competitive side of it, realizing that I really just want to drink beers with the boys and kick it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like a regional,
Yeah,
you can still
absolutely.
do that, but like it's not the same atmosphere as going to your local bar and playing with 3 boards and like having to stand up every half hour to go play.
It's very true. Rob Price asked a good question. I'm interested to hear your guys' take on this. Will we ever see a slick side pro dominate the ACL again?
No.
Do you think it's possible?
5% chance.
Slick side pro. I mean, who would you consider as a slick side pro? Like,
I mean, like off the top,
Frank Modlin, like
Damon
Dennis, I would say like a Fath Sem. I know he throws like all slick side down. Like a Steve Schroeder, I think throws a lot of slick side down. Like, you know, those like hole for hole.
I mean, Mark Richards for a season was basically all slick side.
Who is it? There's one guy that just popped off and got pro. He's from Texas, I believe.
I'm trying to think which one it is. Oh, you're right. I know Juan. No, it's not Juan. It's shit.
Don't sound racist.
I know. I'm trying not to. Oscar Morena.
Oh yeah.
He's a slick side. Yeah, primarily. You're right. Yeah. Well, I mean, and Gary Bearpaw. I mean, coming over from the ACO, like, so, I mean, there's not that many of them, but like with how the game is played today, like, do you think it's a pro could be sustainable, just throwing slick side down the middle, just clearing everything out?
No, honestly, no, not anymore.
Jeremy, you're hard now.
You could put, you could have, say, Jay Rubin's throwing all slides again.
Yeah.
Have him, he could be a slick side pro, but I mean, I think there are players that don't have the roll, that don't have the cut, and they're just, slick side down the middle. They don't necessarily throw like super slick bags. Like Jordan's a really good, slick side player.
Yeah.
Jay Rubin, like, I don't know. There's still guys that use more technique. They use slick side, but no, I don't see it.
I mean, I would argue right now, like Matt Guy is averaging like an 11 almost every pro season. He hasn't won in a while. You know what I mean, like, in singles
10-4 something.
Yeah, you know what I mean, like, and it's not always translating directly into wins. So I think it'd be really hard for a slick side player to go because you guys are all getting so fucking good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't be a pro anymore and average almost a 9 and still compete. You know what I mean? Like, if you're not well into the 9s, almost throwing a 10, like, you're not relevant anymore.
Yeah, that was like last year when the playoffs in Detroit, it wasn't in Detroit, but it was in Michigan. But everybody was averaging like over an 11. Like, I think I shot like a 10.75 and I had like a -1 DPR.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, we need to just like bump this back to like 30 feet or something, or make this a little harder.
First bag block.
Are you a fan of it? Like, do you think it's getting too easy? Like, is that detrimental for the game?
Bump it back to 30 feet. I mean, they do it in the pro basketball. They move it back a few feet.
True. It's a good point. Yeah.
So then, are you going to have to put the women's division at normal distance then?
I mean, it's
an honest question.
Yeah, it is a good question.
Nah, I don't know. I don't think so.
Would the men's go to 33 and then put women's at 30 or something?
33. That would be tough.
That would be.
That'd be.
You'd
really
have to
tough.
allow a step over then.
Yeah. That'd be interesting for sure.
I don't know why it just popped in my head. I was watching doubles, and the funniest picture I saw all day was when Cash Chamness had to throw against Fisher Hamilton. Dude, it was the funniest fucking thing. And like, I took a screenshot of it because I'm like, this is one of the things that's so cool about the game is that you can have a man child throwing against an 8-year-old. You know what I mean? And the 8-year-old's kicking ass. You know what I mean? Like, it's just crazy.
That is insane.
It is. And he's really good.
He is
really
good.
good.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I see the stats and everything. I've seen him play before, but then I watched him play this weekend. I'm like, oh shit, you do belong in the pro division. Like, you were really fucking good at 8 years old. Like, fuck. Like,
Sean, we have no hope.
No.
All right. I know. Like,
no, we saw that this weekend.
one, they said you can't be a slick side pro. All right. So you're fucked.
Yeah, pretty much.
2, we can't beat 8-year-olds. Fucked. There's
Yeah,
no
correct.
chance. I'm going to, maybe I'll become a minor leaguer and just play in that for the next decade.
Yeah, so just some foreshadowing for you all. You might be seeing a member of Big Asp on a local minor league team.
Minor leaguer.
So
Uh-oh.
might have finalized some
Just
stuff
the
this week.
mascot, though.
just there for the vibes. That's all it is.
Exactly. I'm just the beer wench, just like running around.
You have a tier talk?
I do, yeah.
Oh, shit.
So,
All right, let's do it.
I mean, guys, Halloween's right around the corner. Can we just tier talk Halloween movies?
Halloween movies?
Yeah, I'm not. They don't have to be horror. We're just talking Halloween movies,
Okay.
and I'm interested to hear Joe's take first, just because you're looking too innocent down there. So, give us give us an honorable mention and a 3, 2, 1.
Oh, Lord.
An honorable 3, 2, 1. I can't even think of 3 Halloween movies.
Sure, you can, man.
off the top.
We can put all horror movies into the Halloween genre as well, just because they're scary and you could watch them at Halloween time and justify it.
I don't know. I'm more of a comedy guy, like a spoof,
Amen,
like
brother.
a scary movie.
I mean,
scary movie.
that's counts.
No,
Okay.
that
Good honorable mention. Are you going with Scary Movie 3 though? That's a bold choice.
no. Well, I mean, that's my favorite one, but
Okay.
I don't know.
Judgments are being made right now.
Actually, all right. So like Haunting of Hill House, that was a good one. But that was like a show. I don't know.
I like putting him on the spot. I can hear his skin
know.
crawl from here. I love it.
It is. I don't know. You guys will have to come back to me.
All right, we'll come back to you. You're throwing your
yeah.
partner under the bus now. Jeremy, what you got?
Yeah, like usual.
Are we talking spooky or Halloween or either or?
Either or. Whatever. Yeah, he can go Halloween comedy movies if he wants. No big deal.
All right.
Do
Well,
whatever.
so like, I don't really watch much Halloween or like spooky stuff, but the ones I have, I gotta go Halloween series. That's probably it. Because I mean, shit, I got the mask in my garage. I dressed up as Michael Myers last couple
Fair
years. I just changed the topic. I went country style one time. I went killer one time. And
Yep.
just I don't know, just something about that.
You switching
movie,
up
that
like
series.
Halloween with like Ernest Goes, so you could be like, Michael Myers
Yeah.
goes to jail, just wear some pinstripes. Like,
Yeah. Shit. Number 2. Oof. I'm gonna go old school and say Signs.
Okay.
God, the fact that you
I
say
know.
that's old school
I know, right?
makes me feel very old.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun
Yeah.
fact, that's I was watching that movie when I got my one and only drinking ticket in college. We were literally just chilling there, having some beers, watching a movie, and they came and busted us for no fucking reason. Carry on.
One that comes to my head I thought was pretty crazy would be The Ring. I think it was.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'd probably be number 3, and then I'll just throw Charlie Brown in the honorable mention.
Yeah, obviously.
The
Honestly.
Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown.
All right. I thought of 2 more.
Oh, all right.
So Jeepers Creepers.
Okay.
And
Classic.
Jeepers Creepers too.
no, not Jeepers Creepers
One.
2. And the Saw series. The Saw series.
Okay.
Is really good.
Yeah. Those are good.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Sean?
Okay. So I don't really have an honorable mention.
Okay.
All right, but my number 3. All right, this is gonna probably go over most people's head, but I'm assuming you'll remember this one.
Yes.
It's it was based off a book series called Goosebumps, The Mask.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Great
All
one.
right.
Yeah,
All right, so it's
for
pretty,
sure.
like growing up, like I used to think that was like so scary when I was like, 10, 11, probably 16, 17.
Don't sleep. I mean, I remember that that VHS had like, it was like neon green
Yeah.
on like the plastic part. Didn't see those very often
Yeah.
in the world. It's pretty sweet.
Number 2, classic. Hocus Pocus.
Classic indeed.
All right,
Oh,
the
yeah.
classic little
That was-
family
yeah.
film. Got the 3
That's
sisters.
what-
Yeah.
You know
That's
what I
the
mean?
first
Like,
one I thought of.
I'll roll with it. And then my number one, it's a little bit of recency bias just because I just watched it the other night, but it reminded me how good the movie is. The original Beetlejuice.
Hell yeah.
Just
Yeah.
such a
Another
good
classic.
movie. Like just so funny. Like especially comedy. You know what I mean? Like Keaton's just so good in the fucking movie.
For sure.
And like I've been waiting, and now that I finished the original again, I want to go watch the new one.
Might as well.
So that was my list.
Hell yeah. Good list.
Thanks.
Honorable mention for me, Casper.
That's a good
Casper
one,
the
man.
Friendly
Yeah.
Ghost. It's a sleeper, man. If you guys haven't seen that in a minute, go back and watch it. It's actually it's really funny.
Yeah.
Way funnier than I remembered it even as a kid. Number 3, just childhood nostalgia. My wife absolutely loves these movies, and they're always on around Halloween, but it's Halloween Town.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
like a Disney original movie or
My
something.
daughter was
but, like,
literally watching that this weekend.
yeah, dude, honestly, like whenever it's on, I'll just sit there and watch it. I know it's a bad movie, but whatever. Nostalgia
Yeah.
rules all.
It was like back when Disney was still doing good things, and it's like she was like the one like chubby girl they were putting on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for sure. They're like, oh,
I don't know. That's what I was thinking when my daughter was watching. I'm like, wow, good for her. She made
way
it.
to go.
Huh, all right.
Huh, you didn't have to be
I
bulimic
wonder
to
what
get
you're
up
doing.
there.
Yeah. Anyways.
Disney magic. All right, number 2, recency bias, but I just rewatched the first 2 in anticipation to watch the third one, but I'm going to go with A Quiet Place. I don't
Never
know if
seen
you've
it.
seen those yet, but John Krasinski's in the first one
Oh, that's
with
the one you were
Emily
telling me about
Blunt.
that. Yeah.
I don't know. They're just creepy,
Okay.
well made, like for a new scary kind of movie.
Fair enough.
I do enjoy them. And then creme de la creme for me is Friday the 13th. I've always been a Voorhees guy, so I'll take it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Hell yeah. Another honorable mention is obviously Nightmare on Elm Street, but to be honest, those creep me out a little bit too much.
You're like way more of a Halloween guy than I am.
But again, I'm not like, I don't want to decorate my house and like do all this spooky stuff. I will watch horror year round.
I know.
It doesn't bother me. So like, you know, the more morbid, the better.
Yeah, I mean, you could see like my wheelhouse is
Yeah.
like the scariest movie in quotes that I had was The Mask by Goosebumps. You know what I mean? So
I mean, off topic, but watching South Park randomly the other day and murder porn episode came on.
Yeah,
And I was just like, God, I relate so much to this now in my adulthood. I'm like, that stuff's always on, like murder docs and stuff.
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
like, all right, it's a thing.
sure is.
It is a thing. And
Sure is.
they snuffed it out.
Oh yeah. Well, we know it's late on a Monday. We know you guys are both working individuals, so
There's
we'll
still
have
a lot
the
of
folks
football
go.
left.
We'll have you guys hang on for just a minute, but thank you for joining. It's always a pleasure having you guys on.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, we're
Thanks
gonna
for
do
having us.
our best effort in trying to pump up teams this year. All right, we feel like this if the ACL is gonna grow and it's gonna take off, team seems like it could be a good starting place, especially with the change in format and everything. So we're gonna try our best to pump it up. So just keep doing what you're doing. We appreciate it.
Will do, man.
All right, folks.
Hell yeah.
Well, hope you guys enjoyed the episode. We'll be back next week with more content. If you want the video version, check out patreon.com/bigasscornhole. And as always, we hope you throw it straight. And it's nothing but 4 baggers from here on out.
Cornhole it.
Later.